This lesson is giving us more practice solving for sides using the trigonometric functions. So the first part is asking you to review how to set up the ratios correctly. So if I want the sine of q, that is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 14 over 50. Don't worry about the simplest form. Cosine of q, we don't know what the adjacent is, so it would be x over 50. And then opposite is 14 over adjacent, which is x. Now if we're looking for sine of r, opposite of it is x over hypotenuse of 50. Adjacent is 14 over hypotenuse of 50. Opposite is x. Adjacent is 14. So that's how we set up the ratios. Now you have to use the ratios correctly to solve for missing sides. So for example, in number 1, 48 degrees, we're looking at the opposite and the adjacent. So we're saying that tan of 48 is equal to x over 17, and we would cross multiply, so 17 times tan 48, which gives us 18.880 ... round to the nearest tenth, which is 18.9. And now we repeat. 67 degrees, opposite is x, hypotenuse is 29, opposite and hypotenuse is so that's sine of 67 is equal to x over 29. Cross multiply, so we're going to do 29 sine 67, so we're multiplying those two. 26.694 ... round to the nearest tenth, 26.7. And we continue. 29 degrees, this is opposite and hypotenuse, so sine of 29 is equal to 12 over x. This one is slightly different than the last two because when we cross multiply, x is not by itself, so then we have to divide both sides by sine of 29. So we do 12 divided by sine of 29, and we get that x is equal to 24.751 ... round to the nearest tenth, 24.8. The next one we have adjacent of x, hypotenuse of 37. So we cross multiply, 37, cosine of 16, 35.56 ... round to the nearest tenth, 35.6. Here's our angle. We have adjacent and opposite, so we're doing tangent of 58 is equal to the opposite 22 over the adjacent x. So again, we're going to get 22 equals x times tangent of 58. To get x by itself, we divide both sides by tangent of 58. So we're doing 22 divided by tangent 58. When we round that to the nearest tenth, we should get 13.7. Next one, we're looking at 51 degrees. We have the opposite and the adjacent. So tangent of 51 is equal to x over 15. So we're just doing 15 times tangent of 51, which gives me 18.523 ... So x is rounded to 18.5. We have adjacent and hypotenuse for this one. So we set it up, cross multiply, divide both sides by cosine of 37. 48 divided by cosine 37. we get x is equal to 60.1 when I round it. We have opposite and hypotenuse in the next one, so sine of 24 equal to x over 9. So we do 9 times sine of 24 to get x is 3.66 dot dot dot, and to the nearest tenth, x is equal to 3.7. And we continue. We have opposite and hypotenuse, so this is sine of 28 equals x over 19. Cross multiply 19 times sine of 28. I'm just going to round from my calculator and I get 8.9. We have 41 degrees. We have opposite and adjacent, so we have tangent of 41 is equal to x over 32. So in your calculator, you're doing 32 times tangent of 41. So our final answer should be 27.8. Here's our angle. We have the hypotenuse and adjacent. So we're doing cosine of 21 equals x over 26. So x is equal to 26 times cosine of 21, 24.273 dot dot dot, round it to 24.3. Number 7, we look at 55 degrees. We have adjacent and opposite. So we have tangent of 55. So TOA, so we do opposite over adjacent, which is 8. So we do x is equal to 8 times tangent of 55 to get 11.425 dot dot dot, rounded 11.4. Continuing on, 33 degrees, opposite hypotenuse, so we're doing sine of 33 is equal to 15 over x. So we have 15 equals x times sine of 33. We want to get rid of sine of 33, so we're dividing both sides. These two will cancel. We'll do 15 divided by sine of 33. X is equal to 27.541 dot dot dot. X is rounded to 27.5. Next one, we're looking at the 43 degrees. 36 is adjacent. X is our hypotenuse, so we're looking at cosine of 43 is equal to 36 over x. We have 36 equals x times cosine of 43. Divide both sides by cosine of 43. Divided by cosine of 43 gives us 49.223 dot dot dot. Round it to the nearest tenth, 49.2. I'm speeding through these just because you could see that the process becomes very repetitive after a certain amount of time, but I'll continue doing the rest of them just so that way you have something to check. So we're looking at 72 degrees, 25 is opposite, x is adjacent, so we're looking at tangent of 72 is equal to the opposite 25 over our adjacent. When I cross multiply, x is not yet by itself, so I have to take the extra step and divide. So now in your calculator, you should do 25 divided by tangent of 72. We get x is equal to 8.122 dot dot dot. Round it to the nearest tenth for 8.1. Now for the last one on this page, hypotenuse is 11, adjacent is x, so we're looking at cosine of 64 is equal to x over 11. Cross multiply 11 times cosine of 64 gives us 4.822 because it keeps going on, and then I round to the nearest tenth and I get 4.8. And now there are 3 Regents questions that show you so here in right triangle ABC, they tell us that B is the 90-degree angle, A is 32, and they tell us that AC is 6.2. We want to know the length of BC. So when we're looking at A, x is the opposite, and we're given the hypotenuse. So we know that sine of 32 is equal to x over 6.2. So when we cross multiply, we're doing 6.2 times sine of 32 to get x is equal to 3.285 ... Round that to the nearest tenth to get 3.3. Number 2 gives us a picture, talks about a man parasailing at an angle of elevation of 32 degrees, and tells us the distance here is 129.5. This is our hypotenuse. Approximately how many meters above the lake? So we're looking at the distance above. So we're looking here, this is the opposite. So we have opposite and hypotenuse. So we're doing sine of 32 is equal to x over 129.5. So we cross multiply 129.5 times sine of 32, which gives us 68.624 ... And when I round it to nearest tenth, we get 68.6. And finally, a 20-foot support post leans against a wall. So we have a wall, we have a post that's leaning, and this is 20 feet, making a 70-degree angle with the ground. So we have the ground, and this is 70 degrees. How far up the wall, so we're looking for vertical distance, will the support post reach? So we're looking for this distance. So we have opposite and hypotenuse, so sine of 70 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So we're doing 20 sine 70, which gives us 18.79 ... I round to the nearest tenth. It's because it's the 9 next door. We round up to 18.8.